Righto, today we're having a look at the Kenwood TS830, and this is the 830S. This is not the gold edition. The gold edition was different in that the gold edition had the gold label down the bottom, but whilst this here is the gold edition over here, this might as well be the gold edition, even though it hasn't got the gold label on the bottom. It does have all the filters and all the options fitted that came with the gold edition, except for the KB1 knob, which the gold edition came with this very nice alloy knob. They're very nice, actually. KB1s or KB? Yeah, KB1 I think it was. Okay, so that's the Kenwood TS830. I've just got it hooked up to the wrong antenna, but I've been able to tune it through the AT230. So 10 meter vertical. We've put onto a 40 meter onto the 40 meter band, and I'll just make sure we're not on top of anyone here. Let's have a look. We'll go into tune, and SW at the moment. It's about make sure that's calibrated. We'll just come over a bit. We'll come down. We can probably just pop that down a bit. 1.5, 1.3. There we go. Dipped it down to 1 to 1. And plenty of forward power there. Okay, so these tuners are real tuners. They can do a very good job with. This is a Antron A99 11 10 meter antenna that's being tuned onto 40 meters quite well. And that being said, not a lot of activity. A little bit of activity up here around 7148 or somewhere. 7147. Not great signals at the moment, but anyway, regardless of that, the TS830 is the desirable radio, and I've owned one for years. I recently upgraded to a gold edition, which came up, which was care of my mate Fletch, who did a little bit of travelling for me. Thanks, Mr. VK. To Fox Hotel Sugar Victor. Fletch made sure that this got transported down to me, and so for me, I'm really just going to be moving out one because two doesn't make sense, and I don't have the room at the moment. Just speaking of room, there's such a schmozzle going on here. I mean, a lot of these boxes have got to go out of here, but I've just got to get cleaned up. There's just so much gear that's hit us in such a short amount of time, and and the room next door, well, let me show you the room next door. This is not much better. From the moment you walk in here, my missus wants to kill me at the moment. This room is our, as you remember, this is our games room and music room. Well, it is just covered in gear at the moment. There's a TL922 sitting there that's never going to get used. That's a pity. That one's got a kit and everything in it. There's just Yaesus and Kenwoods and bits and pieces. Racks of radios that unfortunately I've been able to check all these and they're all good, which is great, but they need to get out of here, and so that we can the idea is to get that TV mounted, which we've got a big huge TV needs to go on there, and you should be able to sit on a chair and watch it. Yeah, well, that's not quite happening. Okay, back to the TS830. Enough of my rubbish. As I walked in, I realised a couple of JA stations talking there. One is a bit stronger than the other. Actually, I was doing this on 40 meters last night, and I happened to talk to a KH6 in Guam, and then followed by another chap over near the Louisiana-Texas border. It was actually in Texas, but near the Louisiana border. And of course, he'd had the roof problems and antennas, and poor guy, he got through, which is good, but yeah, very hard for those guys at the moment. Okay, so this 830 has everything fitted. So there's all the filters are done, anything that could be done. It's been recapped as well, by the way. I think that's really important to mention. It's actually used as some of the smaller caps, which are actually much better for these things. It's quite a nice change out. Antenna tuner, as you can see, works beautifully. Has the matching speaker, the SP230 as well. One negative, I haven't had time to get to this. The VFO 230 still has an issue. Look, they're one of the most unobtainable things to get in life. Finding a VFO 230 is very difficult. It will be a calibration issue on it. I'm just getting to the stage where, as you can see, I just can't keep working on radios for hours on end because we're just not getting enough done. So that there will need looking at. It does have the appropriate cable to go to the radio and plugs into 240 volts like it should do, etc., etc. So that there it's still a value, by the way. It's just a matter of you need someone to calibrate it up and just get it working correctly. They have very similar. If you check our videos, it's very similar to how they do the Kenwood, what was it, TS830 we did the other day. I say it's similar, but it's not. It doesn't use the same photoelectric transistors, but it is a similar concept of revolutions and turns, etc. So, look, you know, anybody that's interested in this lineup, that there's a bit of a bonus. Really, it's these bits here that really, you know, complement. Don't get me wrong, the VFO is a big compliment, but I've just got to admit, I'm just running out of time to get to every little small thing. So what have we done? We've made sure this thing works perfectly. This 830 transmits like a gem, receives beautifully, and I'm just having a little listen around, probably listen to FT8 or something. FT8, yep. Jeez, not the most exciting thing to listen to, but FT8. All right. If you've had enough FT8, I'll turn that down. All the display works beautifully. All the lights on this are beautiful. Cases, beautiful. Just for the age of this equipment, we're not talking about anything that's knocked about or anything like that. So, you know, this is going to be of interest to somebody, I'm sure, that's a lover of 830s. And, you know, we can talk price. Just talk to me and we'll have a bit of a chat and see what is on your mind. But beautiful radios. I just always, I wouldn't be selling this if I hadn't bought the gold edition. I'll be very honest. This would not go, because this was probably the cleanest one I'd ever seen prior to that. And this came from Rob, VK2QR. And Rob's a little bit fastidious about his radios as well. So it has a good history, really good history. So that's all good. Okay, I thought I'd just take it up to 10 meters and just check its power output. So we're on a 200 watt scale, just on CW, about 120 watts there coming out of it, 125, something like that. And just a scale there of RF, IP, current draw, ALC, high voltage, etc. All good. Don't do that for too long on full carrier. Go to tune. Obviously, tune is around about 50, 30 watts, 20 watts, something like that. 20, 30 watts. Actually, let's just check that. Just over 20 watts, 25 watts. So yeah, on the tune position, obviously do all your antenna tuning on tune. And but look, this thing's getting more than this got new tubes in it, new driver in it. This is there's nothing to change in this. Actually, I should have pointed that out. There's a lot of stuff that's been done here that takes real time, real money, real energy. So I don't want to, tell you that this is going to be a $200 radio. But for someone who's interested in something that's, that is a lineup and that is actually the full lineup, and is prepared to have a look at this thing here. As I said, wish I had time. I don't, so I'm just going to have to negate that and just go, well, doesn't matter. But you are getting a very nice 830 lineup with a lot of money being spent on this fella here to make sure that it's up to sort of 2020 performance. It does come with a hand mic, sorry. Just don't have that with it here at the moment. But certainly, you're not going to get a nicer 830 lineup in Australia here at the moment. I'll say that, and probably someone will this one now just to prove me wrong. But certainly very, very nice. And 830s, look, they traditionally are a go-to radio for most people who have been through the 520, 820 days and have wanted to just get to something that's, that next level up. And they were next level up, especially with all the filters, with the CW wide, narrow. And you can actually hear that with the filters. CW wide, narrow, sideband. All the filters are fitted on this. So once again, you really are buying something that's got everything on it. And you know what? The KB1 knob, now and again there's a crowd in the US who do release that. With that knob, you could bring this up to being the gold edition, just by one knob changeover. So they do come up for sale every now and again. The guy that manufactures them is a little bit on and off. Sometimes he does them, sometimes he doesn't. And believe me, I've tried to buy a quantity of them. I've told him I'd buy 10. Next time he does them, I'll buy 10 and I'll put them on all the radios here, because I love those knobs on the the KB ones that fit on the Kenwoods. They're just a beautiful, beautiful finished knob. So someone in Australia should be making these. You know, we keep on going on about COVID-19 and what a bugger it is. But you know what? It's an opportunity. We should be making more. I was just talking to Steve Mathias, VK3YW, about why aren't we making towers? And he's right. He's 100% right. We're trying. We just seem to hit pitfalls every time we try to build a tower lately for any sort of commercial enterprise. But the truth is that it's a huge opportunity. All right. Well, that's the 830 lineup, and there's really not much to say. It's just really one of those lineups you either love or hate, and you either want in your collection or you don't. But certainly, if this one's for you, give me a call and we can talk about it, I'm sure. This is VK3 Charlie Mike. Please subscribe. We're getting some really good subscriptions lately. Thank you very much for a lot of the guys from overseas. We're now, just so you know the numbers, we are now 55%, I think the last time I looked, of overseas subscribers compared to Australian subscribers. Now, that number sounds fantastic, but please keep in mind, Australia, what are we, 25 million? I don't know how many people we've grown to. I used to say 23 million, I'm 25, 27, I'm not sure. Anyway, but we're not exactly the big populous centre of radio users. So the number of Australian users that we get is actually quite good when you think about the population. But thanks so much, guys, from overseas that getting involved, especially you guys who are sending me emails about your experiences, and sometimes that helps me to add to things, to talk about what you've been doing and how you've been doing it, and believe me, I learn from you guys heaps, and especially lately. Today, I'll just give you a little bit of a personal insight. It's probably about 7 p.m. Most of the day I have been back in bed. I did work on a radio till 3 this morning, which was a big mistake. It knocks me out health-wise. I get up the next morning, and morning becomes afternoon, and so I've got some disciplines I've got to do myself. But I must say today, man, what a terrible day compared to yesterday. But I'm up and around and playing around with something right now. So we'll just back to the surgeon tomorrow, guys. Those that are following some of the medical stuff. I'll give you all the results of the biopsies tomorrow. They took a lot of stuff out of me, so let's just say, let's hope it's out with the old, and no need to do anything to make anything new. That would be good, so we'll find out. All right, 73s, thanks very much, guys. Appreciate all your support. I know I've been a little bit off and on with just getting in touch with a lot of you guys at the moment. Those that I'm behind on emails, please hang in there. It's not me being rude. I'm thinking of Tony in South Australia. I'm thinking of Phil down in Melbourne. There's a number of you. Please, it's not any other reason except for just too much time in bed and not enough time in front of the radio. All right, 73s. All the best. VK3 Charlie Mike.